So here's another one, kickback on Delta Airlines' new policies on service and support animals. We've got another article of kickback against that. Hey, let's go take a look. Delta should leave blind travelers alone. As a blind traveler who uses a guide dog, I've visited 47 U.S. states and 4 foreign countries. It's not easy to convey to sighted people the freedom and joy of guide dog travel. One of my most treasured photographs, which my wife described to me, shows my first guide dog, a yellow Labrador named Corky, sitting in the bow of a Venetian gondola watching the oncoming boats. When I was first paired with Corky, I ventured to Manhattan from my home in Ithaca, New York, just to walk around. If not quite solo, then the next best thing. I had the freedom to decide where we wanted to go and then just go there. I'd never had that experience in New York before. We went places on a whim. We walked up Park Avenue and entered the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. The doorman bade us welcome, and I could hear notes of optimism in his voice. In the past, strange places had often seemed forbidding. "Welcome to the Waldorf, sir," said the doorman, adding, "What a sharp dog." I replied, "Thank you." Corky and I luxuriated side by side on carpet in the foyer. The rug was soft as a cloud under my sneakered feet. There was a general fragrance of lilies. "We can come to places like this. We can find our way. We're New Yorkers," I said to Corky, though not loudly. And as I would do so many times over in the coming years, I got down on one knee and hugged my dog. Men and women passed us, heading for the Park Avenue exit. "Wow," said a woman, apparently spotting us. I heard the smile in her voice. I heard an elevator open. I remembered learning that in the 1930s, a train platform was constructed under the Waldorf for President Franklin D. Roosevelt. He could exit the train in privacy. The Secret Service would raise him from his wheelchair and help him into an open sedan. The car would then be lifted to the street in a customized elevator. I thought of FDR and the stagecraft required to conceal his disability from voters. Now I was visible with my disability and more pleased about it than I'd ever thought possible. Know the feeling, dude. When I travel, my professionally trained dog lies at my feet and never stirs, no matter how long the flight. I've had 4 such dogs, and all of them were trained by a top-notch school in New York called Guiding Eyes for the Blind. Although going places with a disability isn't always easy, it's achievable because protective laws guarantee the disabled rights of passage. In the United States, states' white cane laws and federal laws that include the Americans with Disabilities Act and the Air Carrier Access Act have made it possible for blind people and their exemplary dogs to go anywhere the rest of the public goes. In the world of service animals, guide dogs are the gold standard. Well, not from what I've seen. They are trained to guide the blind through heavy traffic, watch for low-hanging branches, take evasive measures when cars or bicycles run red lights, watch for stairs, and even prevent their partners from stepping off of subway platforms. Yes, they're also trained to stay quiet and unobtrusive in restaurants and on public transportation. This professionalism is possible because guide dog schools spend tens of thousands of dollars breeding, raising, and training each dog, and it doesn't need to cost that much. The guide dog has been a fixture in the U.S. since 1929, when a blind man named Morris Frank stepped off an ocean liner in New York with Buddy, a German Shepherd trained in Switzerland. Frank and Buddy became instant celebrities as they showed the press how Buddy could navigate across what is now the West Side Highway. In the years to come, Frank and thousands of blind men and women would lead the fight for accessibility. Thank you, guys. Ensuring that dogs for the blind were welcomed everywhere. Guide dog teams, as we called a person paired with a guide dog, were commonplace in public by the 1960s. Earlier this month, in an effort to curtail the appearance of fake service and support animals on airplanes, Delta Airlines issued issued a new requirement that actually hurts the blind. Delta is demanding that service or support animal users upload veterinary health records to its website at least 48 hours prior to flying. That and the training certification. The service animal policy applies to those with visual impairments, deafness, or hard of hearing, diabetes, seizures, mobility limitations, or other needs, according to Delta's website. Emotional support or psychiatric service animals call for 2 additional forms. Well, it's actually 3 with the doctor's letter. Everybody, welcome to our world. Isn't it grand? This new requirement, set to take effect March 1, is an obstacle that impedes the blind, while probably doing very little to halt phony service dogs from boarding flights. I'll agree. Delta imagines additional paperwork might solve the problem of people putting vests on their pets and feigning disabilities so they can bring their untrained dogs on planes for free. Does Delta think disability fakers will be unable to upload rabies vaccination certificates on a website? For sighted people, this is a snap. As a blind person who uses a talking computer, I can tell you that navigating websites and uploading documents isn't easy. In fact, it's often ridiculously hard. And now other airlines are reviewing their own policies for service and support animals. Although there are no definitive numbers, Guiding Eyes for the Blind estimate there are 10,000 guide dog teams in the U.S. We're not a powerful lobby, but we are speaking out. All guide dog users already carry ID cards issued by schools, certifying the team pictured is legitimate, and this should be enough. No, not all blind people with guide dogs carry ID cards. Not by a long shot. Wrong. Delta should leave the blind alone. We've earned our passage. So I'd like to point out here how selfish some guide dog users can be. They speak and behave as if guide dogs are the only service dogs out there, that they're the only ones facing troubles and tribulations because of this. I just have to say, it irritates the you-know-what out of me. You know, get with it. Not all guide dog users carry ID. Some guide dogs are privately trained or owner trained. Yes, blind people can train their own guide dog. They may need a little help here or there, but I've watched them do it. They can well train their own guide dog. So in those cases, they wouldn't carry ID. So this guy is wrong. Anyway, all the rest of the service dog users out there that aren't psychiatric service dog users, welcome to our world. Isn't it lovely? We've been dealing with this for 20 years and everybody was perfectly okay with that. Now all of a sudden it's you guys and it's not so okay. Maybe you should have backed us up with our clamoring. Just saying. Anyway, yeah, I feel your pain. I feel your trouble. I wish none of us had to do it. But the kickback and the railing against this continues, and that's a good thing. In the end, it's good to have as many as possible railing against this so they realize the error of their ways. The Air Carriers Access Act makes no provision for what they're doing. I contacted the complaint department for the Air Carrier Access Act. They didn't tell me anything one way or the other. They just said they're keeping an eye on the issue. So what that kind of tells me is they're waiting for Delta to step into it so they can actually do something. They've got a peg to hang their hat on, so to speak. But so I guess we're just waiting.